house full of secrets. Can you keep a secret? From the very first frame, The Housemaid pulls you into a world where nothing is as it seems. Directed by Paul Feig and based on the best-selling novel by Frida McFadden, this psychological thriller transforms a luxurious mansion into a suffocating prison of manipulation, lies, and buried trauma. Starring Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried, the film is a slow-burning descent into paranoia and survival. And by the end, you'll question everything you thought you understood. Let's step inside the Winchester house. We meet Millie Calloway, quiet, withdrawn, and carrying a past she doesn't talk about. Recently released from prison and desperate for a second chance, she interviews for a live-in housemaid position at the Grand Winchester estate. The house itself feels alive. Cold marble floors, towering ceilings, silence that echoes too loudly. That's when she meets Nina Winchester, played by Amanda Seyfried. Nina is elegant, but unsettling. Her smile lingers too long. Her tone shifts without warning. One moment she's warm and generous, the next she's cutting and cruel. Millie gets the job. Then she sees her room. A tiny attic bedroom, a thin mattress, a door that locks from the outside. Something isn't right. The perfect family. Or so it seems. Enter Andrew Winchester, Brandon Sklenar. Charming, calm, devastatingly handsome. The contrast between Andrew's gentleness and Nina's erratic behavior is striking. Andrew confides in Millie. Nina has mental health issues. She's unstable. She can be dangerous. Millie begins to sympathize with him. Meanwhile, Nina's behavior escalates. She intentionally humiliates Millie, accuses her of mistakes she didn't make, smashes a wine glass and blames her, gaslights her into questioning her own memory. There's a particularly chilling dinner scene. Nina pretends to choke. Andrew panics. Millie rushes to help, and then Nina stops, smiling, watching the chaos she created. It's psychological warfare. Andrew locks Nina upstairs in the guest room, telling her that actions have consequences, and if she wants to be free, she should pull out 100 strings of her hair with her scalp on each stretch. Nina refused for days. Without water and food, she had no option than to do as Andrew had requested to get her freedom. Cecilia Cece Winchester, the quiet daughter who sees more than she says. Her drawings begin to reflect disturbing imagery. Her mother screaming, her father watching. Andrew framed Nina of trying to kill his daughter by drowning her in a bathtub. That way she can confirm that Nina is a psychopath and nobody would believe her story when she eventually gets freedom. Evelyn Winchester, Andrew's calculating mother. She disapproves of Nina and watches Millie carefully, as though assessing her suitability for something bigger. Enzo Accardi, the mysterious groundskeeper. Silent, observant. He warns Millie in subtle ways. This house changes people. The seduction of trust. Andrew becomes Millie's emotional safe space. Late-night conversations, soft confessions, lingering glances. Millie starts to believe she's not just hired help. She's needed, wanted. Then comes the turning point. One night, Nina has a violent outburst. She screams, throws objects, accuses Andrew of betrayal. Millie witnesses what appears to be proof of Nina's instability. Andrew tells Millie he's afraid for Cece. He says Nina has hurt people before. And then, he kisses Millie. That's when the story flips. The truth beneath the surface. Millie discovers something horrifying. Hidden medication. Forged psychiatric reports. Security cameras in her attic room. Nina isn't unstable. She's being framed. Andrew has been orchestrating everything. Isolating Nina, manipulating medical professionals, gaslighting her into appearing mentally ill. Millie realizes she was never the victim. She was the pawn. There's a powerful confrontation scene between Nina and Andrew, asking why he cheated on her with Millie. At that moment, Nina was divorced and sent parking out of the house. That was freedom for her. Instead of hatred, Nina reveals clarity, calmness, strategy. She tells Millie, he did this before. Andrew has a pattern: charm, control, replace. Millie was meant to replace Nina. Now the film becomes a chess match between two women who realize they've both been manipulated. Millie was then locked upstairs for accidentally breaking a set of plates given to Andrew by his mother. Andrew told Millie once again, actions have consequences, and he slid in a broken piece of the plate and asked her to cut 21 lines into her stomach just to get her freedom. That was when it occurred to Millie that the psychopath was Andrew and not Nina. Millie falls asleep holding a small knife she got from the refrigerator. Andrew opens the door, sees her in pains, and tried to act sweet. In that moment, Millie stabbed Andrew in the neck, ran out, and locked Andrew upstairs. This time, she said to Andrew, actions have consequences. Remove your front teeth and you get your freedom. In the final confrontation, Nina came to rescue Millie, not knowing it was Andrew that was locked up in the room. Immediately, she opened the door. Andrew came out, pushed Nina down the stairs. Millie had a fight with him, but she was overpowered and she ran out. Andrew was later pushed down the stairs by Millie, where he broke his neck and died. Freedom at last for both of them. As the chaos settles, Nina looks at Millie with a knowing expression. And maybe she's learned something dangerous. Why the housemaid works. This isn't just a thriller. It's about power, gaslighting, control in relationships, the masks people wear behind wealth and privilege. The tension builds gradually, but once the twist lands, the film accelerates into psychological warfare. If You Loved, Gone Girl, The Girl on the Train, domestic thrillers filled with manipulation. Then The Housemaid will keep you glued for every second, a gripping psychological thriller that proves sometimes the most dangerous person in the room isn't the one screaming. It's the one smiling.